AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Now stand up so that people can see your Hawaiian shirt today.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Isn't that a cool shirt, guys?
Just
broken
okay. Okay, it's not broken. Well, hopefully, never mind.
Thank you for monitoring.
Come on.
I promised our listeners they wanted to hear.
I didn't. Okay. Hopefully I don't break this mic as I almost just did.
It is time now for County Commissioners. Ask the Commissioners. We have Jack Manning and Tony Amadeo in there with us currently. You guys just got back from Harrisburg. What was happening out in the state capitol?
We were working. We were doing our job.
I'm sure you were.
The Allegheny Conference and the Southwest Planning Commission got together and had a 2-day session of kind of advocating for the needs of the 10 county regions, and each county had an opportunity to make our pitch to state officials and share the successes we've had and appreciation for the support from the state with grants and other permitting issues, and then what our major needs are going forward.
Yeah, Jack spoke for the county with Lou Vellotti on the Allegheny Conference side. And then on the SPC side, we all went out and lobbied our senators, secretaries, representatives. I walked my backside off. My heart was really pumping, I can tell you that.
What was a common theme of what this 10-county region is looking for? What was the message you hope to deliver?
Well, most of it's always around energy and bringing jobs into the area. Obviously, data centers was a huge part of the conversation, and pretty much every office that we went into, some of the legislators we met with weren't necessarily over our district, but the Senate President Pro Tem and all these other higher-ranking state reps and state senators. And the theme was about, in order to have the development, and I said this in one of our meetings, I'm not smart enough to know if jobs follow people or people follow jobs, but I know you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No people, no jobs, no people.
And with both of them, you need housing.
Growth.
Yeah.
And with both of them, you need housing.
And infrastructure. And
how do we accommodate growth? And you need jobs, you need housing, you need infrastructure. Tony and I both talked about the Aliquippa Ambridge Bridge.
Yeah, that was one of my focus points.
So there's infrastructure issues. There's new roads that have to be built in many of our surrounding counties and communities. So just basic infrastructure and energy, man. I mean, we've been talking about this for decades. It should be no surprise to people because we kept saying there's a hockey stick curve of demand for energy, and we are keeping up with that demand. And as much as people want to talk about data centers sucking up energy, we knew this was coming. Yeah. And nobody's putting down their cell phones. Nobody's getting off Facebook. Nobody stopped taking hundreds of pictures and storing them somewhere out in space.
True.
And the fact is, it's just that there's just more and more demand, and we haven't increased and kept up with the energy demand. We've decreased it by shutting down coal-fired plants and the like, which, fine, I'm not a huge fan of coal-fired plants myself, but we're not keeping up with nuclear, gas-fired, or other alternative energy.
I was going
to say, Tony, well, the demand hasn't gone down for what we need these plants for. But as we saw in a meeting 2 nights ago in Beaver County, people were concerned with the safeguards. Are there safeguards being taken about noise, about pollution, about the use of water? And
yes.
What do you guys? Is that what you're hearing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're 100% behind the one in Bruce Mansfield. That's the only one in which we have been opening the gate. And Tony can tell you they meet all the criteria that we have for where a data center can go and how it can be built and the technology that
they're bringing their own power. They're using their own water. It's meeting all our objectives.
And it's in an industrial place. It's been an industrial
It's on the brownfield site.
Right.
It's on the brownfield site.
I went in with focus this time. As I was moving through the chairs in SBC, right before I was going to become chairman, I had my stroke, so I got off that board. But 2 things I got accomplished. One was the Broadhead Road study, and so I'm focused on that now, and as long as I'm a commissioner, to get that completely funded. And the other one is the Ambridge Aliquippa Bridge. It's 100 years old this year. So we need another major river crossing. It's very expensive. We're going to go in September to Washington, D.C., and try to get that federal part of it funded.
Would there be a new location, new ramps for the Aliquippa
cheapest,
Ambridge
best
Bridge?
way to do it is side by side.
Okay.
Even though you're going to put into different pilings down in the river, it's so much
If you look
better.
at what they did with the Copple Bridge or the Holston Bridge going into Oakmont and stuff, you just build another bridge right next to it. Acquiring land and trying to do a different route just exacerbates
Especially
everything
dealing
in the
with
cost.
PennDOT and right-of-ways.
It makes no sense. So,
But would there be any more direct access to Route 65? Because when that was built 100 years ago, it was more you were going from downtown Ambridge to the other side of the river. But now people just fly by on 65. And if you need to take that bridge, you have to backtrack, do several left turns and right turns.
We'll see. What we
there.
have funded and what we put forward is the study to make sure.
But I'm not in favor of
we can do
moving that bridge at
and the
all. It has
cost.
to be in a relatively same location.
Okay.
Yeah, the Aliquippa Bridge side is.
I mean, that's
is good,
important to the
but-
people in Aliquippa as well as Ambridge.
So time frame, you said September you guys are in D.C., Washington, D.C.?
That's the proposed time we're going to go.
There's always
It's
a
called a
legislative
D.C.
session.
fly-in,
Okay.
which of course we drive. We don't fly into it, but
And then you mentioned Broadhead Road as well. What are your plans or hopes for that?
there's just numerous. One example: 5 points. 5 points needs to be lowered and needs to be turned into 4 points. Right now, it's a logistic nightmare. I saw when the cracker plant was being built, they had a big load that they were taking there, and it got hung up at the top.
Oh, you
and
mean if you're
locked
coming
it.
from Hopewell to go, or coming from Route
Right,
376?
going up the big hill
Yeah.
to go to
76,
376.
Yeah.
751.
I agree.
To
that's in-
51.
And there's some safety issues that need to be done, some traffic signaling. Broadhead Road was one of the
PennDOT's
original
looked at
paths.
it, and there's three different options there. None of them are cheap.
No.
But there's three different options on how that could be repositioned and improved. So it's on our radar. It's on their radar.
Well, if there are 5 points now,
There's two proposals for that particular intersection.
what can you tell us about those? What are
My memory doesn't serve me correct, but basically one pathway goes behind the gas station and around,
Yeah.
and one goes with an overpass.
All of them require acquiring property and
Yes.
creating
And you want to do minimal damage to the businesses if you can.
disruption. Yeah.
So behind, is that a Sunoco? I'm trying to picture
Yes,
what he's, okay,
yes.
okay. But yeah, well, Broadhead Road, I'm sure it's much busier than when it was first built. Even sometimes just trying to make a left turn
Yeah.
on there, you're sitting there
I've
for a
been
while.
I've been a county commissioner now 19 years. When I was a township supervisor, we did a traffic study, which was the precursor to what we did countywide. 29,000 cars a day traveled Broadhead Road back then. I can't imagine. And when they built the expressway, they assumed it was going to take off some of the traffic. It didn't. It didn't.
Because the businesses are still there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have the roundabout coming in Monaca too. It's down at the other end of 17th Street there. That's a big project that PennDOT's working on. So it's not like they aren't doing anything along that whole corridor past the mall and up Broadhead as well. But it's
For the
it
changes
takes
in
money. I went to a PennDOT public meeting they had a couple of weeks ago, and PennDOT's already $700 million behind on the project that they've already approved and are moving forward on for the region. It's just they don't have enough money to do things as
And one thing
as
I
quick as
learned
we would
early
like.
on, there's two banks, one in Washington, D.C. and one in Harrisburg. and if you can't get the funding there, you're in trouble.
Well, interesting. So if that were to happen, the 5 points area, would that be, what do you think? Would it be mainly state money? Would it be federal money? Would any of the
Combination
local
of both,
municipalities have
probably,
to
but
kick
mainly
in?
state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. Now, as far as other development areas, one more time, let's go back to the data centers. We were talking about, there was a meeting in Big Beaver yesterday or 2 days ago about that. Any more thoughts on the former racetrack there, the data center there? It's a done deal, right? Is there anything, because people are still raising concerns, can there still be regulation on noise?
It's all local controlled.
Okay.
It's all up to Big Beaver Borough. It's all up to the municipality. And I will tell you, I've had no contact directly from anybody in Big Beaver Borough, let alone Switch, apparently the company. I know nothing about them. I only know what I've read, seen on the news. We have been heavily involved with, again, Aligned in the Bruce Mansfield one. They've been very open, very transparent. I went to the shipping port hearing that they had months ago. They've had a couple there. They've had planning commission hearings. They're doing everything right there. Aligned is. They've been very open, very transparent. Tony and I visited one of their
Sandusky
data centers in Sandusky, Ohio. The noise was non-existent. You stand outside, it's a concrete tomb. You get inside in the corridors, it's quiet. You go inside the different rooms with the banks of data and stuff, and there's some hum and some buzz, but the noise is not an issue. The water use is an issue. They use distilled water. They don't even draw water out of the aquifer. They're bringing their own power, and it's a brownfield site. There's nothing there. Pit race, would I rather see my pit race hat?
Yeah, I do know.
Would I rather pit race is still pit race? Yes. I don't blame the Stouts for somebody offering them $50 million to sell something they poured their heart and soul and a lot of life, energy, and money into. I can't blame them. And the bottom line is there's no recourse given that they're zoned for data centers there. I don't care how many people come out of the woodwork. At the end of the day, I don't think they can stop that from being a data center. That's just my opinion.
It's like adult bookstores. When I was a supervisor, the first thing we had to do when they start looking was we had to find a place, someplace in the township where we could put these, because you can't eliminate them. You eliminate them, you get sued and you lose. So, and going back to the Sandusky visit, we went with the borough of Shippingport and the school district of Southside because they have the power. They have the say, not us.
Yeah.
And yet people want to know, how do we feel on it? It all depends. It depends on the proposal.
So they can't stop it being built, but is there still time to say, well, there's a noise if it's over certain decibels?
Well, yeah.
That's up to them.
And I know Stacey Garrity, the state treasurer, is running for governor, has put out a thing. Maybe there should be a moratorium on them so that the local municipalities can get their act together and make sure if they don't want one in their community, that they can have the right zoning, permitted uses, ordinances in place that would make it more difficult for one to be built there, kind of what Tony says, and put them in certain spots. But the fact of the matter is, pit race is zoned for a data center. If they try and deny them locally, they could take them to court, and they're going to lose. Mm-hmm. They're going to lose because there's no reason why they can't do it. Now, the state can intervene a little bit, and they can help delay things. There are some proposals by the governor, 4 points of what he'd like to see data centers do. One is bring your own energy, which I believe this one may or may not be doing. I haven't seen enough details to do that they do meet environmental standards, and also that they're transparent. And I would say that I don't think Switch, just based on what I've read, is off to a good start on the transparency part.
We're not
and,
in the loop.
And the community engagement part. So,
as
Still
Jack alluded to, we're not in the loop in that one.
Yeah.
The shipping port one down at Bruce Mansfield, they put us in a loop.
Yeah. Like I say, nobody has contacted me. I don't think they
me
contacted
neither. Nope.
Tony either about that. Nobody from Switch, no one. I'm assuming we'll start to hear from them pretty soon, given the pushback that they've gotten. I have no earthly idea how you advertise for a public meeting and then you don't let the press in. I mean, I know you guys were there, right? The radio station was there. I just saw something on WPXI.
There was that, and people were saying
said that they had to stand outside.
The lights weren't on during the meeting or something like that, and there was just a lot of odd.
I didn't talk to anybody who was at the meeting at all. I only know what I saw.
We were in Harrisburg.
On the local news and read from you guys.
Before we go to a break, let's about Harrisburg one more time. Anything else come out of those meetings there that impressed you or concerns you, or do you think you made any
the concern that the secretaries had and the legislators had? I mean, they were willing to sit down, each and every one of them, and listen to us. And if they noticed if someone didn't speak, they would bring you up. We haven't heard from Green. We haven't heard from Beaver. We haven't heard. I mean, they want to know what's going on because the budget. They're putting the budget together.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're going to get it done quickly.
I mean, a lot of the conversation was about transportation, about energy, data centers specifically, also about workforce development. And again, it was more about people, the jobs that are being created, making sure we have the workforce that will compete for those, construct those facilities and man those facilities and operate as well. So overall, it was good. And our presentation didn't just focus on that. It also focused on the downtowns. We've had 51 new businesses come into our 9 core downtowns. We talked about the quality of life, parks, recreation. There was talk about trails and trail development. So it was a big quality of life thing, of which obviously having an occupation, having jobs that pay decent salaries so people have disposable incomes that they can spend in our downtowns, make our mom and pop shops thrive, and also have the recreational things that families will want to live here. So it was really kind of
and housing's big in Beaver County.
Issue.
I mean, they can't build these units quick enough, and they're sold. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Just down the street from us, if you keep going down Dutch Ridge Road, I just saw 3 new houses being
Exactly.
built. And, and we had a study the other day. It seems like Baden is the number one. Like it's like in the top 5 in the country right now as far as
the Baden zip code.
Yeah, the Baden zip code, which includes economy and other places.
Yeah.
And
Economy's had some huge new homes.
Well, why is that, or did that surprise you, or
Suburbia?
Combination of things. Not to toot our own horn, but relative to our surrounding counties, our tax base is good. Our taxes are low compared to others. So people are fleeing some higher taxes in Allegheny, Butler, and some congestion in Cranberry and Wexford. I've said many times, we don't want to be Cranberry, we want to be Beaver County, and we're right next to Cranberry. So if you want to go to that side, it's not too far of a drive, but we don't want some of the traffic and congestion. We want smart growth wherever we can get it, but we need growth.
I think people sometimes overlook that. You can be in the economy municipality, Baden mailing address, and you're right on the border with Marshall Township or Bradford.
You're right
Park
there.
Or something.
You're right there.
Yeah,
and that's why News Weekly and economy, particular, are starting to have a lot of interest in new development. So the houses we want. We just
all that warehousing. When you come from Cranberry towards Beaver County, as soon as you see all the warehouses, that's Beaver County.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yes,
okay.
all of that is Beaver County.
Other developments.
The big warehouses.
Right. I take that shortcuts sometimes to avoid the traffic lights in Cranberry.
Yes.
A lot of us do that. We're also talking about the northern development, the Mitsubishi plant, and the Turnpike work on there. Anything new in that area?
MEPI's coming along. I think they still plan on opening in the fall. Again, that's a couple hundred jobs. I mean, we talked for the 4 or 5 projects that we talked about that are in progress that we have. It's almost 1,000 jobs are being retained or created with expansion or new plants. And that's 1,000 jobs. May not sound like a lot to some people. I can tell you, relative to some of our neighbors, that's a great get.
Yeah.
And again, people need housing. They need housing. They need a place to live.
Now, what's the development? I've heard it's a car dealership in Chippewa. If you're heading out towards Giant Eagle, the same side of the street, there's a big building going up there. Is that
Yeah, there is a dealership going in there.
Kia? Is that right? Or
I think it's one from Beaver Falls.
Is that the one with the big high block walls with the supports?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
It's Lewis Kia.
I'm a little concerned about that kind of construction. But
yeah. And then across from the old car dealership in Bridgewater, is that a Starbucks? Seems to be the hot rumor.
That's supposed to be a Starbucks. It had intended to be a Starbucks. So
you're saying supposedly you haven't gotten the final word? Or?
Far as I know, it's a Starbucks.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to take a break. We'll be back more. Phone line's open. You have a question for the commissioners, 724-843-1888.
Have you tried one of McDonald's crafted sodas yet? Whether it's a dirty Dr. Pepper, Sprite Berry Blast, or Orange Dream, your taste buds are in for a pleasant surprise. Perfect for lunch breaks, afternoon pick-me-ups, or anytime at all. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The roar of the NTT IndyCar Series is back.
He's going to look to the inside underneath power into 3.
David Malukas is going to grab the top spot.
No! Newgarden upside down the front straightaway. Pit stop for Scott McLaughlin. The 2 nearly touch, so Scott McLaughlin will win the race over.
Listen to the NTT IndyCar Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Live this Sunday on this IndyCar Radio Network station.
It's summertime and the living is easy until your air conditioner suddenly quits. Now it's hot, the air feels heavy, and nobody's comfortable. You might even hear,
I can't live another day like this.
This is Eric 9 with Homer 9 & Sons. And when your AC goes down, this is the time to call us. Because you don't want to wait, you want it fixed fast and fixed right the first time. At Homer 9 & Sons, we deliver professional, dependable service to get your home cool and comfortable again without the stress. And right now, for a limited time, get your AC tune-up for just $79. If it's time for a new system, we offer trusted brands like Lennox, plus financing options designed to fit your budget, so you can get back to enjoying summer the way it's supposed to be. Homer 9 & Sons, quality home comfort since 1943.
Songs You Know and Love by the Eagles and Fleetwood Mac will be performed to perfection at the Beaver Pool House Summer Concert Series this July and August. First comes the World Turning Band, providing its acclaimed Fleetwood Mac live experience July 17 at the outdoor Pool House stage. The special guest is award-winning singer-songwriter Stephen McClintock. Then, on August 15, backed by popular demand, Seven Bridges returns with its ultimate Eagles experience, rocking the Pool House. 2 nights, 2 legends, see you at the pool. Tickets start at $15 with reserved seats $20. Get your tickets now by calling 724-650-3690. That's 724-650-3690. You also can buy tickets with a QR code from any Pool House concert signs you see around Beaver, or email landcpromotions2019@gmail.com.
It's hard to even put a title on what Tom Young at First Consultants in Beaver does. Calling him a financial planner or an insurance salesman or even a life coach still doesn't accurately describe the experience. That's because he brings dreams back to life or puts life back into retirement.
My job is to create in you the vision of the you that I think you can be, the place that I think you can get to. And you know what? I get frustrated because I see more greatness in people than they see in themselves. I see greater financial futures than they see in themselves. Most people don't believe they can get there.
Find out more by visiting firstconsultantsinc.com or engage in Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is in no way affiliated with First Consultants Inc., nor is First Consultants Inc. a registered investment advisor.
Broadcasting to you from the Fry Transportation Group studios, it is Ask the Commissioners. We've got a caller on the line. Good morning.
Hi. Commissioners, 2 quick questions. Did I understand you to say that the Kia dealership that's currently in Beaver Falls is going to Chippewa?
That's correct. I'm sorry, the mic wasn't on. Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. It's moving along 51 just before you turn into Giant Eagle there.
Okay, and do we know what's going into the Beaver Falls current site?
Have no clue.
No idea.
Yeah.
That's getting to be a wasteland down there.
Well, they have some issues with the food, the supermarket leaving. Obviously, right next door to that.
Yes.
The one dealership still has some auto repair and some other things there.
Okay.
But I have no clue. You'd have to ask some Beaver Falls officials on what they may or may not have on the works there.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you say that the Fisher's supermarket is already gone from down there?
It wasn't Fisher's. It was.
No.
What was the name of that?
Wasn't a Foodland.
It might be a Foodland.
Yeah,
that was there. Yeah, it doesn't face 7th Avenue. Obviously, it's on back behind there. But I believe that has closed. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Now, the major question I have, you were talking about the 5 Points in Hopewell, where I live, is going to face a complete. That's the wrong way to put that. Is going to go down to 4 points.
Well, that's what we were hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been several plans. I'll be quite frank. If that happens in the next 10 years, I would be shocked. But it is an issue. It's been an issue. It has to work its way through the Transportation Improvement Plan. It's competing with 10 other counties for the funding in that region. And I don't know that it's going to hit a high enough priority. It's certainly not my highest priority in Beaver County. But they have, PennDOT has mapped out potential routes.
Which point would be eliminated?
I'm not really sure. I mean, the big bottleneck's coming up the hill. Yeah. The big bottleneck's coming up the hill. That's helped alleviate some of the traffic on the hill and divert it off.
I feel sorry for the people living in those houses there. You're not able to leave your driveway at some points.
Yeah. Well, and you've got the McDonald's and
there's
the
businesses
veterinarian's
all around.
business that's right on the corner there too. So it's a very congested area, and as all those projects can be, that takes a lot of land acquisition and
Takes a
engineering.
lot of money.
And what was the point you were making about there would be construction behind where the Sunoco sits and that car wash is there?
It's just one of the it's one of the proposals that PennDOT came up with. Not that that's going to be the one that's incorporated.
But what would be the purpose of going that way?
I can't just
I don't picture that.
PennDOT had two proposals. One was a route around it, and one was an underpass.
An underpass.
An underpass under Broadhead.
I could see an
That
overpass.
would-
Underpass.
That would be a
overpass.
very
Overpass.
long
Okay.
construction period, yes?
Well, that's up to PennDOT.
As I said, I'm not anticipating anything in my lifetime, maybe.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the job that you're doing, and it's not an easy job. There's a lot happening in the county. I would only say one thing. Violence in this county is beginning to get out of control. And I don't know what the answer for this is, but something's got to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Don. Thanks for calling. Okay, Noah Haswell's in now with the news.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Thursday, June 4th of 2026. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Pennsylvania State Police are investigating a report of shots fired which occurred in Aliquippa on Tuesday. According to the Aliquippa Police Department, officers received multiple reports of gunfire in the 1200 block of Wade Street at about 11:50 p.m. No injuries were reported, and anyone with information is asked to call 724-773-7400. Police said the Pennsylvania State Police have assumed control of the investigation due to the nature of the incident. A small business pop-up event will be held Saturday, June 6th at the Hive in Conway, offering local vendors and shopping opportunities ahead of the Badentown-wide yard sales. The pop-up is free and open to the public. The event will take place from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. More information can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. State Senators Elder Vogel Jr. and Judy Swank joined fellow lawmakers and dairy industry leaders in Harrisburg yesterday to recognize Pennsylvania's dairy industry during National Dairy Month. The event was held in the East Wing Rotunda of the Pennsylvania Capitol and highlighted the dairy industry's contributions to the state's economy and agricultural sector. PennDOT District 11 announced that inspection work will take place overnight on the Route 65 ramps to and from the Fort Duquesne Bridge, Interstate 279 in Pittsburgh, weather permitting. The inspections are scheduled from 10 p.m. tonight to 5 a.m. tomorrow. Single-lane restrictions will be in effect on the ramps carrying Route 65 traffic to and from the Fort Duquesne Bridge while PennDOT crews conduct the work. Allegheny Health Network's Center for Inclusion Health has received an $80,000 grant from the Heinz Endowments to expand access to its Healthy Food Center at AHN Jefferson Hospital, the organizations announced yesterday. The funding will allow the program to accept referrals from non-AHN medical providers, including several independent physician practices and a federally qualified health center serving communities near Jefferson Hospital. State Representative Craig Williams joined House Republican leader Jesse Topper at a press conference in Harrisburg yesterday to promote the Pennsylvania Electricity Ratepayer Protection Act, legislation they say would help address rising electricity costs. According to the lawmakers, the proposal would prevent certain data center infrastructure costs from being passed on to ratepayers and encourage additional electricity generation in Pennsylvania. The event came after the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission announced new electricity price increases that took effect June 1st. The legislation has not yet advanced through the General Assembly, and it currently awaits consideration in the House Energy Committee. The U.S. Department of Justice announced a new initiative yesterday that will provide nearly $300 million in federal funding to help selected cities implement crime reduction and public safety programs. Under the Model Cities Initiative, 2 to 4 cities will be chosen to receive funding for projects aimed at reducing crime, improving public safety, and strengthening community services. And the House approved a warp hours resolution yesterday that would halt U.S. military action against Iran, marking the first time such a measure has passed the chamber during the conflict. A handful of Republicans joined Democrats in supporting the resolution. The vote was 215 to 208. The measure now faces an uncertain future in the Senate. Even if it were approved by both chambers, President Donald Trump would be expected to oppose efforts to limit his authority as commander-in-chief.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Today, we can expect to see lots of sunshine with highs reaching 86 and overnight lows dropping to 60. And tomorrow, it'll be partly sunny during the day with a few clouds rolling in later in the evening. Look for highs in the upper 80s and lows of 67. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Thursday, June the 4th of 2026 at 36 minutes after 9, we've got a temperature of 72 degrees with fair skies out there currently in Beaver County. And that's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
We're back with County Commissioners Jack Manning and Tony Amadeo. I heard that temperature, 86 degrees. That makes me think of swimming. Any updates on the economy pool? Will that be open this summer? Or?
Yeah, we did just get an email. They're still working on getting the liner done. I believe it's still supposed to be on schedule. I haven't seen the details. We didn't have a work session yesterday, unfortunately, because we were traveling, or we would have gotten the latest update from that. But
we're 22 days away from the Beaver County boom, probably the biggest crowd Beaver County will have this year. For the 250th, I'm hearing it's going to be a spectacular fireworks show, the likes of which Beaver County's never seen. Is the county ready? You guys ready for this?
Monumental.
You heard it here first. All right.
It's always bigger and better every year,
right?
And this year will be no exception.
Have you talked to Tony Calteri in Parks and Recreation Tourism? Is there any new developments for the boom?
The entertainers, I hear their names. I'm too old to know who they are. But apparently the fans love them, whoever they get. So
good.
Yeah, same stage, same venue. We've acquired temporary agreements for the same logistics as last year. It's just going to be more of it. I think better coordinated, and the fireworks are going to be spectacular. Zambelli always ups his game every year, and I'm sure they're planning several different special features for America's 250.
Yeah,
so.
The entertainment's always phenomenal. Tony Caltori, Dan Kemp, and the tourism group does an excellent job entertaining the young population of Beaver County.
I think so too. One of the ideas that Push Beaver County's been kicking around too, and they have this regard of like water taxis. Like you'd be able to hop on a little boat and go from Rochester to Monaca, or go from Bridgewater to Rochester.
Jack wants to bring back the regatta as part of this.
I've been talking about bring back the regatta for 15, 20 years now, ever since it went away. And I think that will happen eventually, and have the fireworks and the concert kind of be the culmination of a couple of days of regatta activities. A lot of food service up and down Bridgewater and in Beaver and over in Monaca and Rochester. What's exciting to see come to full fruition over the last several years is all of the communities coordinating their events with this weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Monaca's Community Day, Rochester's, Beaver does stuff, Bridgewater. Rather than have the individual community days and community, you have the fireworks. You know that's going to be the last Saturday before the 4th of July every year. You plan around that. And then you get the crowds being able to visit and have the different venues to be able to view the fireworks, but also be able to patronize each of their local communities. So it's really exciting to see.
The people in Beaver County are very excited about carnivals and events like that. I found a picture of an old poster of a Center Fireman's Fair when I was a fireman. I ran the fair for 17 years. every time I put that on Facebook, they just, I mean, it's just one after another. Oh, that was the best thing that happened in the summer. It was a precursor to going to school, and so they're hungry for entertainment.
Yeah. Bringing in the higher profile musical acts has really upped the game of booming the whole.
It's a national country star.
Because it brings it's just not local people. It brings people from the region. Much like some of the events we've just had, I was mentioned to you, that Rabid Raccoon 100 race was last weekend. I helped kick off one of the relay races at 6 in the morning. 1,300 people were entered into that race from dozens of countries. I talked to a guy that came from San Francisco, a couple of women that came up from Florida, a woman that was from Colorado, somebody from Rochester, New York. All across the country come to this sanctioned race. There were 300 participants in the race to run 100 miles. 76 of them completed the 100 miles. The guy that won it ran 100 miles in 15 hours and 43 minutes.
I can't drive that in 15.
No. He averaged less than 9.5 minutes a mile for 100 miles. I mean, it's just phenomenal to me that people do that. But they had, 5Ks, they had half marathon, they had relay races, and the like. But it was just exciting to see the park full of that. We have a junior triathlon coming up in a couple of weeks there, where again you're going to see people from 30 or so different states, different countries. That's a sanctioned junior triathlon event. People really love Brady's Run. It's a great amenity, and we're excited to bring all these folks into Beaver County, spending their money, staying at hotels, because they bring an entourage with them. That 1,300 people weren't just by themselves, right?
Well, the guy that ran 100 miles out of masseuse with him.
It was from Morgantown, West Virginia. I assume he drove here, but maybe he ran a test run.
I'm getting tired just listening to this. I'm in the exercise protection program.
I like that. Well, last Friday, it was a beautiful day. The wife and I went out to the Standard, and we were sitting out on the deck there. And it was a really nice turnout. People you're eating dinner, having drinks, overlooking the Beaver River. We had Bigham's Tavern. The owner was our guest on Best of Beaver County a week ago. They were talking about their docks there, how people dock their boats, walk up and have and that's something I tell my Allegheny County friends. We have here in Beaver County, that river access restaurants right on the river. They don't really have that like they used to.
The first time I came across something like that, I was up at my friend's place in Marblehead, and we went to a restaurant on his boat, pulled up to the dock right there, tied the boat down, went in, ate dinner, came back out. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
Does Beaver County promote that? Do people outside know that? It seems like some do, for sure.
The boaters know.
Bridgewater certainly advertises itself as a resort town with all of those boats. It is more kind of a locally known versus a regionally known amenity that we have there.
We don't want it too crowded, but maybe there's a happy medium to get a few more people here.
Well, part of it, most of the Ohio River is really still commercial highway and not necessarily pleasure boat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are some folks that fish there and stuff. The Beaver River is just excellent for that boating as well as kayaking and canoeing and stuff.
Now, as part of Noah's news report, I heard him say Allegheny Health Network. I always want to ask you guys any updates on the hospital, as far as the acquisition.
At the last meeting we were with Norm Mitry, was at the State of the County. No, the legislative breakfast that Chris Aluzio and folks spoke to. He anticipates, and I think we're anticipating, that it's on schedule to be completed by the end of this month or early this summer. So we're excited about that. That's huge. I've talked about that there's nothing more important right now than maintaining our access and affordability and healthcare coverage that Heritage Valley does. Allegheny Health Network is going to be a great partner, and it's going to really up the resources and the ability for people to have neighborhood access to healthcare.
As you mentioned, you need people to have jobs, and that's the first thing people look at when they're moving into an area, considering moving to an area. Well, what's the schools like, and is there a hospital nearby?
And I know it was a huge graduating class of nurses at CCBC. Geneva's got programs, Penn State, Beaver, Robert Morris. They're graduating an awful lot of nurses for the healthcare field, and the demand's only going to be more intense. And what helps CCBC, particularly with this, is there should be more abilities for people to do some of their training in. Right now they're kind of capped because they just can't accommodate the hands-on practical nurse and RN prep nurse. The RadTech program they have, the radiology program that they have, can expand as well.
Next Tuesday, I'm going to have the CCBC soccer coach as my guest. We're going to get people hyped for the World Cup. And, they have a new program there at CCBC for that. Right?
They're excited about it.
Yeah. Should be. Phone lines open, 724-843-1888. If you have a question for the commissioners, let's take one more break. Hold tight. Enjoy Bigham Tavern's famous wings and award-winning pub grub in 2 spots this season. Bigham Tavern at Bridgewater provides an expansive outdoor dining scene with live music Saturday nights on the banks of the Beaver River. Courtesy docks are available if coming by boat. Join the fun for music bingo every Tuesday and team trivia each Thursday. Bigham Tavern, also with a location on Mount Washington, is known for its legendary Wednesday wings, where wings are 75 cents in over 30 flavors all day. Now booking private events? Learn more at bighamtavern.com.
Back by popular demand, The Time Machine with Frank Sparks. Every Friday from 10 a.m. to noon, we'll strap into our 1968 VW Bus Time Machine and head back in time to a year that is picked out by a listener.
Tell me, doctor, where are we going this time?
We'll talk about all of the trends and listen to songs from the Hot 100 of that year. So mark your calendar to tune in each and every Friday here on Beaver County Radio.
Remember way back when you were young and the bus ride to and from school set the tone for what made your day special? School buses and vans have had a special place in the Fry family for 3 generations. At Fry Transportation, the student transportation industry is embraced as a tradition, privilege, and lifestyle. From the morning laughs on the way to school to the talk about the day on the way home. Memories you won't forget, just like the vintage football games aired each week on Beaver County Radio. Fry Transportation, caring for your children as they care for their own. Coming to you from the Fry Transportation Group studios here in Brighton Township. It is the year America's celebrating 250 years of independence, and there's a county-wide parade coming up in September. When I was at the Veterans Day or Memorial Day parade, people were passing on information about that September event. Looks like that's going to be a really huge event.
Yeah, no, we're pretty September 19th. We're organizing around the school districts is how it's being organized, so that every municipality in the county will have an opportunity to be a participant in this parade somehow. We're trying to get all of the bands. We're still lining them up, all the public school, high school bands. Obviously, veterans group, historical groups, people who are looking for floats. There's a little contest, I know, to have the best float come by.
So still time for people to get involved in that parade.
Yes.
Yeah.
September 19th.
But why we chose September, it's so hard to get the bands together in the summertime. And once school starts, you get a couple weeks moving, it's so much easier to get the band directors, the band kids to come to the band. So we anticipate all the bands being there for this parade.
The only caveat will be if for some reason a football game gets scheduled to a Saturday for some reason, weather or lack of lights or something, and the bands have to go to that. But we're hoping to get all of them there. I know I'm responsible for a couple of municipalities, one being Ambridge, to coordinate and make sure that the bands and the community's heavily engaged. So I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a good long parade. And there's a lot of Fort Mac activities right after the parade that are happening along River Road.
As my old friend, the AD from New Brighton, Joe Ursita, used to say, we're going to have a bandorama.
Oh, I like that. Might steal that. Yeah. We got a phone call. Hey, you're on the Beaver County Radio Morning Show with the commissioners.
Good morning. I just have a question about the bell that was displayed at the local library. I wanted to know why the county purchased it and why did they not have a local artist paint it? And I'll hang up and listen to the question.
Yeah, we didn't purchase this. This was something that was provided by the State America 250 committee and contest. So every county got a bell. I was not involved. I don't think, Tony, we were involved. with who painted it, what's painted on it, and everything else. So I'm not really sure who was responsible.
The only thing I was
that.
concerned about making sure there was no crack in it.
Leave that to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, caller.
Yes.
That's all I know. It's been displayed around. It's been in the courthouse, obviously. It's gone to different libraries. It was in Baden a couple of weeks ago. And by the way, Baden has a big event coming up June 20th. I invite everybody to go to the Baden Municipal Complex.
I believe Beaver County Radio is going to be there as part of that.
On the 20th.
Yeah.
They're going to have a great America 250 thing there. So the Bell and some America 250 stuff, which is at Darlington Days. I was down at Darlington Days this last weekend. They have a lot of interactive displays and moving parts. So the Commonwealth's really tried to help each of the counties be able to fund and do these things.
Yeah, it's a perfect venue, perfect place to have an event. The only problem is parking. The last event that I went to, I had to park in Conway.
Okay. And Jack, I know you wanted to talk about public service. That was something that's been on your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. We get so much pushback for so many people. And my dad always used to tell me, it was reinforced with people that I worked with over the years, that you owe your country and your community more than just paying your taxes. And that goes to me, whether you're a resident, whether you're a small business, or whether you're a major industry. And when these folks come in, we always kind of ask them, especially the major industry, don't just come in and pay your taxes and think you're done.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the people. Great example is Fry Transportation. What has DJ Fry not contributed to the community whenever they've asked, right? I mean, he contributes a lot more. He pays a lot of taxes. He employs a lot of people. But he's a community servant, and he does all this stuff. And I think his residents, the people that get involved with coaching their kids' teams, helping out with the schools, PTA members, different things. You have to be more than just paying your taxes. And a lot of complaints we get are to people like, I pay your taxes. Okay, that's great. What else are you doing to benefit your community? Don't just come to us with complaints all the time if you're not doing something to make your community better yourself. And the vast majority of people do, and they're engaged. And what I love about Beaver County, and I've talked about it, it's really a small city unto itself. And we're harsh on ourselves, and we're our own worst enemies at times. But if somebody outside starts picking on us, we'll come to everybody's defense pretty quickly, and after 25 years, but particularly with these major corporations. So whether it's a switch or somebody else coming in, we want to know what you're going to do besides just pay your taxes and take advantage of our location, our land, and our people to help construct and run something. So, I would hope you don't have to necessarily hold their feet to the fire. A Vistra and a Shell have done that. They've come in and they have been very community engaged because they believe the same thing, that you owe a community that you work in and live in more than just paying your taxes. And I just wanted to reinforce that theme because it's been bothering me the whole up and down the turnpike on Harrisburg and back for these meetings that, we need public engagement. Part of that engagement, by the way, is your obligation to vote. Mm-hmm. People are going to start complaining now about Big Beaver Borough, or they're going to complain about this. And what was our turnout for the primary? 21%.
That's all. Wow.
Of the registered voters show up. Come on, you can't complain if you're not going to at least do your obligation to vote, let alone get engaged in some way with your church, your school, your community, and help make things better. And that's all I ask people to do. I will work with anybody who want to make Beaver County better. I don't care your background, your politics, anything. If you're willing to work to make Beaver County, call me and we will work on it to try and make Beaver County better.
If someone wants to help, but they don't know what they can do. Right. Is there an easy resource? Can they just call the commissioners? How do they?
I'll tell you, most of the civic organizations, most of the nonprofits are hurting from the Rotary clubs on down to a bunch of nonprofits.
It's the old adage. When I was young, you defended your block until you needed to defend your village. That's a quote.
I like that. Yeah. What did John Kennedy say about that's not what your country can do for you?
Yeah, and I guess because I was 12 years old when he said that, it still stuck with me as well. But that's how I was raised. My dad, that's how we were raised. We were always engaged, always doing things. And I've just served on a lot of boards and done a lot of community work, a lot of sports coaching and different stuff over the years, and it's ingrained in me. And I think it's ingrained in most people in Beaver County. Don't get me wrong. I think most people are there. But when I look around, I see some of these organizations that are aging out. Nobody really wants to get involved. It saddens me, quite frankly. Some of the historical groups, the different clubs, even the veterans groups, are getting.
We've seen events
thinner ranks. Right?
Nationality Days in Ambridge was a huge thing, and then I think people kind of aged out that were running the church groups that were doing
this
that.
This is my 55th year of volunteering and being part of government. And from when I first became a volunteer fireman, I thought that was the world, man. It was really great. But I was a fireman when it was fun, when you got to ride on the back of the fire truck.
Did you have a Dalmatian?
My friend did. Oh. I got a story about that bunch.
We have literally a minute left. This time always just flies right by. Anything else, fellas, you want to say while we got you here?
Well, we appreciate this time that we were able to come here and discuss and pick up people's complaints and accolades sometimes. I really enjoy this.
Appreciate you having it out.
The summer's packed with events. I mean, every municipality with the America 250 and stuff. So just stay tuned, look at social media, see what's popping up, and please go out and visit the different municipalities and communities that are doing these events. So some great work by a lot of good people.
Here. Well, I'm sure I'll see you guys at the Boom. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, take care. The new look Pittsburgh Pirates are ready to make a playoff push after Paul